There are stories that drift through the cracks of everyday life, unexplained, chilling, and oddly persistent. One of these legends centers around a group of mysterious beings known only as the Black-Eyed Children. They appear on lonely roads, knock on car windows, or ring doorbells after dark. Their voices are monotone, their words strangely formal, and their eyes pitch black from lid to lid. Who are they? Alien hybrids? Government experiments? Demonic entities? Or just a terrifying urban myth taken too far? Tonight, we're diving deep into the truth, the terror, and the theories surrounding the Black-Eyed Children. The legend of the Black-Eyed Children first entered public consciousness in the 1990s, sparked by a chilling account from a journalist named Brian Bethel. According to Bethel, he was parked outside a movie theater in Abilene, Texas, when two boys approached his car. They seemed between 10 and 14 years old, dressed in hoodies. One of them asked if Bethel could give them a ride home to get money to see a movie. At first, nothing seemed terribly wrong, until he looked into their eyes, completely black. No whites, no irises, just deep, empty pools. Bethel described feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as if something ancient and wrong was standing just outside his understanding of reality. He rolled up his window and drove off as quickly as he could. That night, he posted his experience online, unknowingly setting off a paranormal wildfire. Dozens of people began to share similar stories. Children with black eyes appearing at homes, asking to be let in, always with a strange, unnatural calm. The urban legend had been born. But what made it so powerful wasn't just one man's story. It was the collective feeling that these encounters were not just creepy, but wrong. They weren't just scary kids. They were something that shouldn't exist. Reports of the Black-Eyed Children follow a disturbingly consistent pattern. The children usually appear in pairs, most often at night, and they always ask to be let inside. They might say things like, "Please, let us in. We need to use the phone," or "We can't come in unless you invite us." That last part is crucial. In almost every account, the children cannot enter without permission, adding a deeply folkloric, even vampiric layer to their legend. Witnesses almost always report a growing sense of fear and dread during these encounters, one that often becomes unbearable. This is equally unsettling. Their skin is often described as pale or even bluish, with clothing that's slightly outdated or just off. Their hair is unkempt, their movements too stiff or robotic. But it's the eyes that make everything else fade away. Perfectly black, like holes in the fabric of reality. Some have even claimed that electronic devices malfunction in their presence. Lights flicker, radios buzz with static, and pets become aggressively afraid. And yet, no confirmed harm has ever come from these encounters. As far as we know, no one has ever let them inside. Still, the question remains, what would happen if someone did? Are they physical beings? Or something else entirely? Entities wearing human disguises to test our boundaries? The consistency of these accounts over decades suggests something more than shared imagination. But that only makes the mystery more unsettling. With so many similar encounters reported, believers and skeptics alike have tried to explain what the black-eyed children could really be. One of the most popular theories suggests they are extraterrestrials or hybrids sent to observe humanity up close. Their strange behavior, black eyes, and emotionless speech match some descriptions of alien encounters. Perhaps they're experiments in mimicry gone wrong. Others argue these children are demonic in nature. In many stories, they seem to need permission to enter, echoing ancient beliefs about evil needing to be invited. Their presence often causes intense fear, electrical disturbances, and an overwhelming sense of evil, hallmarks of classic demonology. Then there's the vampire theory, not the Hollywood type, but the folkloric creature that requires consent before entering a home and often appears as a child or lost soul. There's also a technological explanation. Some believe these stories are modern urban myths, memes that spread like viruses across internet forums, gaining credibility through repetition. Skeptics point to psychological phenomena like shared delusion or folie à plusieurs, where multiple people come to believe in something untrue through mutual reinforcement. Sleep paralysis, hallucinations, and hypnagogic states have also been cited. In these altered states, it's possible to see entities that aren't really there. But here's the twist. Many black-eyed children encounters occur while people are wide awake, sober, and in public spaces. No drugs, no dreams, just terror. And even law enforcement has been called in. In one case, from Vermont, a woman reported letting 2 black-eyed children into her home. Shortly afterward, her husband was diagnosed with severe skin cancer, and their pets died mysteriously. The timing may be coincidence, but the pattern of fear, illness, and misfortune has led some to wonder if these beings are omens, or worse. Ultimately, the truth remains out of reach. Each theory answers one part of the riddle, but leaves more questions behind. Despite their mysterious nature, sightings of black-eyed children aren't confined to one place. From quiet suburbs to rural highways, these eerie encounters have spread across the United States. In Oregon, a man claimed that a boy with black eyes knocked on his door in the middle of a thunderstorm, asking to come in and wait until it passed. The man said he felt frozen in place, gripped by a primal fear he couldn't explain. He slammed the door shut and watched through the peephole, only to find no one there. In Ohio, a woman was stopped at a gas station when 2 children approached, asking for a ride home. She said their voices were mechanical and their expressions blank. A more recent encounter came from a couple camping near the Arizona desert. They reported being woken at night by soft knocking on their camper door. When they opened the curtain, 2 children were staring at them, expressionless, unmoving, and with pitch-black eyes. The couple drove off immediately, but for days afterward, they claimed to hear tapping on their windows at night, even after they had returned home. In North Carolina, a man let a child into his home after the boy claimed to be lost. Within minutes, the man said he became violently ill and had to be hospitalized. Doctors never found the cause, and the child? He vanished from the emergency contact sheet he supposedly filled out. Each of these stories shares common elements: unexplained fear, mysterious vanishings, and after effects that linger long after the child disappears. Skeptics call them hallucinations, coincidences, or hoaxes. But believers say the sheer volume of reports across time and geography is too large to ignore. Why are these children always seen, but never caught? Why do their visits leave a trail of illness, fear, and confusion? The answers remain as dark as their eyes. The black-eyed children legend didn't stay confined to message boards and paranormal circles. It began bleeding into pop culture. They've inspired horror films, internet creepypasta, podcast episodes, and short stories, feeding off the public's hunger for modern folklore. In 2012, an independent horror film titled Black-Eyed Kids was released, portraying the children as supernatural threats that stalk and torment the living. They've also become recurring characters in Reddit threads, like No Sleep, where users contribute elaborate stories designed to unsettle and blur the line between fact and fiction. Even popular TV shows and YouTube documentaries have tackled the topic, treating it either as an urban myth or a real-world anomaly, still without explanation. But it's not just media. It's memes, short TikToks, and even children's Halloween costumes. In some circles, the black-eyed children have become as recognizable as Slender Man. Critics argue this cultural saturation makes it harder to separate truth from fiction. They suggest the children are a 21st century reflection of our digital age fears. Strangers at our doors, surveillance, and emotional disconnection. Still, others point out how legends throughout history morph with the times. just as changelings haunted medieval Europe and fairies lured children into forests, the black-eyed children haunt the modern suburbs. They aren't just a myth, they're a mirror, reflecting cultural fears, childhood innocence twisted, and the horror of letting the wrong thing inside. And because they look like children, they disarm us. They challenge our instincts. They force us to ask, what would I do if I saw them? Would you slam the door or let them in? So, are the black-eyed children real? Or are they a perfectly crafted urban legend born in the digital age? The truth, as with most legends, lies in the space between belief and disbelief. What we do know is this: the black-eyed children legend didn't explode because it was promoted by Hollywood or marketed through franchises. It grew organically, passed through whispers, late-night posts, and shared fear. The stories came from ordinary people, from truck drivers to office workers to stay-at-home parents, each convinced they saw something they couldn't explain. And no matter how much skeptics try to rationalize it, the emotional imprint remains. The fear, the chills, the urge to double-check the lock on your door after sundown. Whether supernatural or psychological, the legend has tapped into something primal. We fear what we don't understand, and when that unknown wears the face of a child, that fear becomes unforgettable. As long as people continue to report sightings, as long as midnight knocks echo through quiet homes, the black-eyed children will never fully fade away. They will remain part of our modern folklore, our nightmares, and our unanswered questions. So the next time someone knocks at your door after dark, take a breath. Look through the peephole, and if you see a child staring back with eyes like midnight, whatever you do, don't let them in.